Hey guys, it's Man from Minnesota Mobile Army Electronics. This is going to be a two-part video. This is part one where we take everything apart. This bike is Pinos StreetGlide. Beautiful, beautiful bike. He got the audio done from a shop. He's had nothing but issues. Pino actually rode around without audio all of last year. And he was just tired of going back to the other shop. They kept on charging him to replace speakers. His radio stopped working, just a bunch of things that were done wrong. So he finally brought it to us, and we ripped the bike apart today. Found multiple issues. The wiring was done all right. It's just they never used the proper wiring. It was neat on a scale of 1 to 10. Maybe it was like a 6.5. But that wasn't really the main issue. They ran the wrong wiring. And a couple of things they did was, the amplifiers on this bike require 8 gauge each. What they did was, they ran an 8 gauge up, split it into two 10 gauges. So the 8 gauge they ran up was OFC, but the ground was CCA. That's fine. We're replacing everything with NVS audio wiring either way. We're going to be sealing and porting the bags. Another thing we found was, so it has a Sony radio, so we wouldn't use a T-harness in this bike anyways. We would use the actual Metro adapters from the amplifiers to go into the factory pods, but they actually ripped out all the factory wiring and ran their own wiring and then glued the crap out of the pod. So we're going to be ripping all this apart and using the actual Metro harness. As we're taking apart the bike, we found a decent amount of bolts missing. So we contacted the owner, Pino. He's actually at Harley right now, ordering the proper nuts that we need. Also, they ran the wire a certain way that we wouldn't do it, but that's fine. That's whatever. We're upgrading all the wiring. Stay tuned, guys. This is going to be a two-part video. So in this video, you guys are going to see little shorts because I made little clips as I was taking the bike apart. And yeah, stay tuned, guys. We're going to make it all better for Pino so he can enjoy his music for the season. Hey guys, it's Manj from Minnesota Mobile Army Electronics. We have a big wiring rescue in the shop. This is a StreetGlide. As you can see, they ran a 8 gauge up, split it into, this looks like 10 or 12 gauge, right, going to the amplifiers. So they only had one fuse for both amplifiers, right? And then the ground looks like 10 gauge as well, 10 or 12 gauge. Both these amps require 8 gauge power and ground each. So already it was getting half the power just coming up, and then they split that twice. Another thing is we're going to be ripping out all the wiring, start fresh. I know this wire coming up is OFC. The Raptor wire, OFC. But then this ground wire, CCA. And if you follow everything back, what I don't understand is, again, I get it, maybe they never had black Tech Flex, but they have two different colors going along. That is fine. I can live past that. What I don't understand is why they would go all the way around, then come across like this to run their wire. We run our wire down the middle, just like they did, but we go across along the frame underneath, and then we come out here. So this just, I don't get it, but okay, that's fine. Another thing that they did with this bike was they actually, the customer had 8s in there. But when they did the 8s, they used Audio Frog mid-range speakers. So he wasn't getting any bass at all. So the client opted to go with our stage 5. So we're going to be doing cicada in the fairing, and they're going to be doing the cicada 10s in the back, sealed and ported. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to be ripping this whole bike apart and starting fresh. So I'm trying to remove this plug, and while I was removing it, so here I'll plug it back in to show you guys. I was removing it and this was happening. Guess we got the floating radio. They forgot to put the screws back in on one side. This side we have them. Hey, it just got a little worse. So we took everything apart in the fairing. They, for some reason, ripped out the factory plug, ran their own wire, and glued the hell out of it, when all you really need is, that's the power and ground bar we ripped out. You would need this. See, there's multiple terminals, multiple wires going to each terminal. We're going to be removing all that, and then what we do is we use the NVS audio 0 gauge from the battery to the fuse block, right? Everything goes to this, and then any extra power stuff he has, because he has an air ride, everything, we're going to connect to this. Then we do the 0 gauge ground upgrade as well. So what we like to do is, the way I've been taught, you're gonna have one ground factory and one ground that we put in to upgrade to the frame. Same thing on power side, you're gonna have the factory power, and then we run the power cable here to the fuse block. So anytime the bike's being serviced, all you have to do is just take off 2 cables on each terminal, and simple, right? Like, look at this. There's, I think, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 positives, and ground, same thing. So this is the before, wait for the after. So this is the way we ran it, like I've learned from my mentor. Behind the frame, goes up, goes underneath, up the factory backbone. The way they had it was coming across here. I think the wire is still here, like this. This is much more neater, looks clean.